The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host, David White, for another wonderful hour, Power Trading Hour on most of TFNN.com. And of course, immediately after this, we've got Tom O'Brien. And then I'm back like a bad rash in the 4 o'clock hour. I've got all kinds of stuff to talk about in technology with Tom O'Brien. And normally start, about 4:20 Eastern time on that. So you got a little bit more of Dave than you normally get. And I always like to leave him wanting a little bit more. Today, I'll try to satiate you with everything that I have, at least technology-wise. So what do we have going on out here? Market pulling back a little bit. We popped for a day. Now we're coming back. And the whole question is, what are we doing? Options basically telling me we're setting up for some good action next week. I would have thought that we would have seen the IWM down at about 120, 119, but we don't. IWM still holding up 122.14 and shows a little bit of rotation going into this market out of the top tier S&P 500, more back into the U.S.-centric stocks that do not have as much exposure to the dollar index. I thought that after yesterday, we probably would have seen the dollar index more like in the 98s today. It rallied one more time up here to $100.26 at a high of 137 cents today. So the dollar continues to be strong. I still think that we're probably going to see a pop in crude over the next day or two. Probably going to see this dollar index pull back a little bit. One thing about extensions and markets is they can go a lot farther than you ever think. But I'm thinking that there's a good opportunity out here to see a nice little bounce. And I mean little, I mean something that you wouldn't invest in, but I think that can be incredibly profitable. We talked with the home office today over in Clearwater. I did. And we're going to set something up for Wednesday night. And I think we'll have all the details by Tom's show ready to go. But I think we've got a very good opportunity to set up for some white lightning. That is high probability trades for options going into expiration. And if anybody was around here last September when we made some outrageously huge money in this market, in fact, pretty much made a year in 3 or 4 days, both being long and being short in 1 week. I think we could see that kind of volatility again. I can't promise anything. I'm no Swami, but conditions are going to be right. And so we're going to do a little webinar on Wednesday night about trading options. And I think maybe we can get some good trades off maybe Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And we'll do that webinar for people. And we're going to have a deal set up for people that want to get the newsletter also. And again, details are pending, but should be ready by 4 o'clock. So get everybody ready. And looks like we're going to have some action next week. At least I think we're going to have some action. And I got a lot of stocks that are pulling back to support on light volume. Put that together with some options, FOMC meeting, wing of bat, eye of newt. I think old Newt Gingrich probably doesn't like people wanting to use his eyes in witch's brew. But I have a feeling eye of newt meant something different back then. But anyway, so, what we're looking at is we're off 22 points, 2.1 billion shares. And that tells me that, again, it's Friday, so volume should be a little light. It's certainly not ringing coming out here, but I think we could have a nice close and maybe wring a little bit of excess out before we go into options next week. I haven't had any positions in the daily newsletter. I picked up one today, which I kind of like. And it may be a day early. It's hard to tell. But my guess is that we're going to come in here with a nice little bounce come Monday. And I think it's got a fairly decent aspect in that it's one of these that's looks like it's washing out the bottom. We also have, of course, a crude out here talking about washing out bottoms down to $45. So we're at the very bottom end of the consolidation area for crude. And could it go a little lower? I think it could. But I have a feeling that maybe this is the general weakness that we're seeing out here, and would not be surprised to see a $5 bounce next week in crude, and maybe put a little fire under a lot of people that have gotten short this week. Looks like we got a second round of shorting in today, and I think maybe those people are a little bit late to the party. Maybe probably some weak hands come expiration week, but interesting trades nonetheless, I think, are setting up. And again, we'll have those details coming to you shortly. But if you've got some stocks that you are looking at, you may want to participate. I'll be crowdsourcing some stocks, and we'll be looking for ones that maybe you can, get in for a dime or a quarter and walk away with a buck or two. And that's the best way to do it, especially when you've got your back to the wall and you lose a little or make a lot. And if you can do that with 50-50 odds, pave your way to the palace. And not a bad thing to do. As always, we like to start off with a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
As yesterday we said, Oracle went public in 1986 on this day yesterday. Today it was Microsoft. It went out at a IPO price of $21 a share. It closed that day at 28. And this really is set off. I actually did a little bit more research. Schwab was a big issue on this. Their rates were 1/4 what most brokers were. And you could pick up 100 shares that day for $30. And that wasn't a bad deal when you had to figure that it was $100 for most other brokers. But Microsoft closed that day at 28 and really started the tech revolution. But it wasn't the first time. In 1928 on this day, a frenzy for a high-tech thing called radio. And it was even AM radio back in there, not FM. Radio Corporation America, or RCA, hits $160 a share intraday, trading up 33% in just 2 days. It's madness, I say. It's madness. They were mad. Well, the madness didn't end for another year and several months, but always interesting to see this go on. I always like that saying, and the factory stereo even gets AM. And it has air conditioning from our totally air-conditioned factory air. So what else do we have going on out here? We've got a little debate going on Herbalife out here, and my guess is that we've got the Godfather himself, Mr. Icon, back in here. It looked like Herbalife was about ready to crack. Suddenly we start hearing this news about the FBI looking at Ackman, and it's a short foray into actually shorting Herbalife. And now we see that the FBI is involved. Well, there was a lot of inside baseball stuff going on with Carl Icahn, and he started a investigation. And if you know anything about the government, once a piece of paper is started into the system, there's just really no way to stop it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's going to go on. He came on CNBC, said, hey, he doesn't know anything that anybody did wrong. The FBI investigated and talked to a few people. And of course, Herbalife bounced. What is it up now? Where's my little Herbalife list? HLF. Should be in this one. Why it is not, I do not know. Come on, where are you at? HLF. Come on. Okay. So it's up 8% today. Of course, when you got a 40 or 50% short interest in something, it's going to run. But, if you get down to these levels and maybe you're Carl Icahn, maybe you pick up the phone and call your local reporter and let him in on the deal, even though there is no smoke and there is certainly no fire on this. You get a 40% short interest. It's not a big deal to go out here and start running a stock. Now, this got up to $38.35 today, back down to $35.83. But if maybe you're Carl Icahn, you still got some shares down here, you want to make a market to get this out. And we've got two operators beating on each other. And there's nothing new about this. In fact, it's fairly old. I actually finished the book last week. Let me get it here. As I said, I like history, but here's the book. I will hold it up. It's called Harriman versus Hill, and it's the big guys of Wall Street in 1902 fighting over the railroads. Today, it's the big chieftains of Wall Street fighting over Herbalife and whether it's a pyramid scheme. We all know it's a pyramid scheme. Anybody knows multi-level marketing, it has to be. If you get a spreadsheet and work it out, you'll find out that 92% of the people either have to, at best, break even or lose money for one of these things to work. It's nothing new. It doesn't matter what it is. Multi-level marketing works pretty much the same way. Now, is it a pyramid? Debatable. Is it, do you already know the odds going against you? If you're one of the first couple of people in it, go for it. If you're not probably the first 5% in the pyramid, you're going to lose a lot of bread. And it's just mathematical. Sit down with your spreadsheet. Your Excel spreadsheet is your best friend in one of these pyramid deals, whether they call it a pyramid or not. But interesting out here. And of course, the $2.50 off the high already tells you just about everything. It was a short squeeze ruse. And when you've got Ackerman spent almost $50 million lining up this short. And almost all of that was legal fees. I'll guarantee you that there wasn't a lawyer involved in this anywhere that saw anything that could blow back on them that wasn't writing it up. Now, could Ackerman gone against them? May have been, but almost bet you that to the letter of the law, that Ackerman did nothing wrong. Too many lawyers making sure he didn't. We shall return. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com and or post a message in the den.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Check out the new look of Tiger TV. Now you can see all hosts, charts, and computer screens live in high definition. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV. Now, crystal clear in high definition, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't seen the new look of Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Of course, most of the international markets are trading with the dollar. And of course, nothing more than the Germany's DAX up almost 1%. And of course, kind of a counteracting movement out here in the U.S. markets, but we'll keep an eye on it. And of course, volume kind of tailing off into Friday's close, off 22 points on the S&P cash, 2.2 billion shares. And I think there's some opportunity for some fast action next week. I'm starting to build a few positions in options. And we're going to have a special deal on that Wednesday night. Look for more details in the 4 o'clock hour with Tom O'Brien. We'll be talking about setting up some trades for the last couple of days of options expiration for the monthlies, and how we can maybe make some good wood on it. So what else do we have going on out here? Yesterday we talked about net neutrality, the bright line bands. Last night there was some more discussion now that the documents are out there. And a lot of people are saying, well, it's going to be problematic because these regulations are basically going to say that you're going to have to keep track of packet loss on the internet. And that's not the only thing they have to do, though. And the new rules will force the internet providers to measure and publish data on packet loss across their networks. One of the reasons they want to do this is make sure that people that not only is their data flowing, but it's flowing on a orderly amount of time. If you don't know much about the internet, everything is broken up into small little bits, especially when you're talking about things like video. If you're watching this on Tiger TV, each one of those packets has a thing called time to die. That means that if it does not find its home, if it doesn't, like ET phone home, I got the packet on the other side in a certain amount of time, then that packet gets resent. They have so many times that it'll be resent, and then it just says, I give up. And basically, that's what the FCC is looking at. They want to make sure that the data just doesn't go through, but that it's been expired. It's actually called the thing time to die. And it is a thing on the internet. But basically, a lot of people brought this up and thought that this was kind of horrible to begin with. But this may be buried way in the document. One of the best things for the internet to come along in a long time, especially for real-time data like audio and video, as we provide here at TFNN. So interesting, nonetheless. Anyway, that's about it for snooze. Why don't we go start looking at some charts? We're starting to see a little bit of movement in some of these. Now, again, the FCC movement, we saw some kind of a move up in L3. If you don't know, this is L3, actually. I wanted something else. What was it? I can't remember now. Let's go look at some stocks from yesterday, because I think that's what we're looking at. I wanted to see how some of these stocks worked that were out going against these lows. And again, Wednesday night, when we're going to be talking about playing options that expire in a day or two, this is the stuff I'm starting to look at now, and that is either highs being tested on extensively lighter volume or lows tested on lighter volume. And these stocks may have a little bit of steam building up for them for movement next week. Now, Ambev, of course, the big alcohol manufacturer distributor, is testing its lows. The December 16th low at $5.56 with 17 million shares got a little doji out here today. Just out here testing the waters, got down to $1.51. But where we had 17 million shares before, we only have 7 million shares here today. And maybe there's a fear trade coming back on, but this is not a bad-looking chart. And that would be something you probably want to keep an eye on. Yamana Gold. This has been a huge stinker and actually giving the first signs of life out here in this market. I've been a gold bear, but I'm actually starting to see some things that look rather interesting in the gold market. Maybe those would be some options that I play next week. We'll have to find out. In Yamana, looking at $3.45 for the November 5th low with 25 million shares. We've gone below it, and we're kind of picking up a little bit above it out here. Also, the energy on the last leg up from November 5th to January 12th, more energy than the one from January 12th down to the low on March 11th. So interesting. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we were looking at Yamana when we left, and not a bad looking chart. The energy on this last leg down was not all that bad. So we are seeing some of these, the worst of the gold stocks start to at least base out a little bit here. And, maybe we get a little push down in gold on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and maybe finally set some kind of low in there that's buyable. But not everything looks horrible. Peabody Energy, I've been looking at this one. You had your high volume low, you're below that, and that's the January 28th low, $5.91. We got down to $5.31 today, and not a lot of volume in comparison. Did it pick up over the last couple of days? Yes, but I wouldn't call this any kind of blowout volume in some of these. And maybe we get a little move in the dollar. We start seeing a big move back in some of these other ones. But I'm kind of looking at this one just when we're talking about setting up for options expiration and maybe moving. This is not a bad thing to look at, because if you let's say this was a $500 stock and you were at $530 right here, maybe options may not be too bad if you're going under a previous low on about 30% of the volume. Maybe something you want to think that you could have a nice move during expiration. Let's see what else we have out here. Console Energy. In fact, this whole energy sector out here is at fairly basic lows. And, Console Energy, it's back to its July 5th low, $26.25. That's the July 5th low of 2013, by the way. You've got another one where basically lows came in June 26th of 2012. It's not uncommon to see, these lows back in here at about 26 bucks act as support. So keep an eye on that. Dean's Foods, this one, not a bad one. It came down, and both went up and went down with fairly strong volume, although volume is tailing off out here. This gapped up on the 10th of November last fall on 10.5 million shares. It cratered down on 10.8 million shares on the 10th of February, though, this year. And interestingly enough, now is back into that gap, and volume is lighter. Is this one? I'm going to keep an eye on it. EDD, the Emerging Markets Domestic Debt Fund. This one doesn't look like anything's going to stop it. Let's see what else we have here on my list of stuff to check out. Emerson Electric, not one that I normally spend a lot of time on. One thing, though, is that you didn't get a sign of weakness as it broke the previous high volume low of December 17th, $9.68 with 810,000 shares. As we broke that low, we had 292,000 shares on the 10th, 238,000 shares on the 11th, yesterday on the 12th, 286,000 shares, 267,000 shares. And these are the kind of stocks that you want to keep an eye on, because they can rip back the other way when you're down here on light volume. General Dynamics. Now, I wish this was down just a little farther, but another stock breaking at least the previous low of February 2nd that had 2 million shares at 132.50. We got down to 131.40 today. Looks like it's going to do about half the volume. We did that 2 million on that February 2nd low. Today, basically 861,000, so maybe 1.1 million shares by the end of the day if something doesn't come out. And of course, nice big gap. Maybe it gets back into that 127, 128 area to fill this big, well, actually two gaps go back to November, actually October 23rd and October 22nd. So you had some nice gaps. Could it get back in there? It could. We've broken below this low, but interesting to say the least. Off 22 points on the S&P cash, 2.27 billion shares. So volume has been light throughout the show so far. And if we come in with something like 3.2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape compared to our 3.5 billion shares, it's going to be the second day where we probably should have seen some volume, at least one way or the other. And I think that's what's setting up. One of the other things that I find kind of problematic is seeing no real direction in the IBB, which is still hanging up here at these highs. It's at 344 right now. And you would think that if the whole market's going to give it up, we would have seen probably a little bit more out of here in the IBB. Now, if you are bearish in this market, what you don't like is these about 3 dojis in a row out here. If we were to close back out here at about 345. When I look at options, in fact, let's take a look at, see what options tell us about the IBB. See if there's anything else going on here. Not really. So, basically, it's probably not going higher. But it kind of tells us that everybody's buying upside protection. So, but not carrying a lot to the downside. Well, not a whole lot there. Again, you can call me at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can put a message in the den. And, a lot of people kind of light out here. What else do we have going on here? Just checking my email, see if we got anything else. To Oracle. Oracle, we talked about this one yesterday, coming right back into this high volume gap up. Even on a down day here, it's doing and acting the way it should. And that is this gapped up on the 18th of December on very decent volume of, let's call it 54.5 million shares. A real sign of strength. It's been working on coming back and filling this gap a few times. But you got 54 million shares. We've come back and pretty much filled that sign of strength up. But on the 10th, we had basically 14 million shares. The next day, 11 million shares, 13.7 million shares on the 12th. Today, 11.6 million shares. So not all that horrible. And this is pretty much what you're looking for. Now, does this mean this thing rips up from here? The answer is no. But it does look like this thing, each time it gets back down into this $42 area, that all the volume kind of comes out, and that's exactly what you want to look for. You're getting that consolidation level, and maybe one more time out here, if the market decides to go higher, this wouldn't be a bad-looking trade for back up to the $46.70 high level. And I digress. ResMed, a lot of these stocks that you think if the market was going to blow up, I think that we'd see these things breaking the trend lines down. These stocks that have had these kind of trend lines don't look like they're anywhere close to breaking right now. In fact, ResMed down on light volume out here today, RMD. And why I think we're probably going to get at least one more bounce out of some of these. Timken Steel, asked Andy yesterday if he saw anything going on in steel. He said no, but I tell you what, it's awful hard not to look at something like TMST and see that maybe low steel prices are going to be good for some of these companies. Maybe they're done going down for at least a little while. I look at the January 30th low at $26.02, 1.5 million shares, and look at the last few days out here, and that is 230,000 shares, 256,000 shares, 186,000 shares yesterday, 246,000 shares today. And this thing, you know, it's below that previous low, but don't really see anything that says that this thing is gaining steam to blow out those lows. So we will continue to take a look at it and see what else we have. Tuesday morning, easy like Tuesday morning. I don't think that's the song. Maybe why I got sued by by those guys thinking that I ripped their song off. Easy like Tuesday morning. They said it's easy like Sunday morning. Anyway, Tuesday morning, an interesting stock out here that also looks like it's got very light volume at these lows, getting a little bit of bounce out here. February 2nd low at $16.96, 1.5 million shares. Got into it. We've gone below it, and we're closing back above it, so not bad looking at all out here. This went to March 10th at $16.79 with 400,000 shares. So basically, what are we looking at? A third? Less than a third of the volume, and now a nice little drift back up. So a lot of these stocks acting exactly the way that they should be acting, and not a lot changing out here. Someone posting a news article on that. Let's take a look at other things out here. BTU, Dean's Foods, NQ, Few. Let's go back just a little bit farther to the 10th. Best Buy. I've been kind of watching this one. It's got a nice big gap out that goes back to when this thing blew up basically a year ago, and just never really stopped until it went basically almost dropped 50% in value. This gap was set up on the 6th of January last year with 11 million shares. Now we're back into it, and of course, the last couple of days, 4.1 million shares and 2.2 million shares today so far. So fairly light volume as we break through these levels. I think that this is probably setting up for a fairly decent short, and it's probably going to happen after the iWatch. I suspect that the more I look at it, the market really looks like it wants to fail, but it looks like it wants to fail maybe in late April and really set the tone, kind of like the 2011 break in April, if you want to go back and look at those charts. But certainly it looks like it's setting up with something fairly the same. And of course, that was the first time that QE was supposedly off the table. Maybe it's the architect type that we want to be looking at as this market rolls over, as QE goes away. Sorry, I had to sneeze one more time. Of course, this is going to be the sneezing hour in no two, but it's summertime and the air conditioning's running, and that air conditioning sometimes gets on the back of my neck, causes me to sneeze. Somebody's saying that then that we had movement. So let's take a look at it. Still off 22 points. Doesn't look like anything's happening to me. 2.33 billion shares, so volume's still light. We haven't had any volume spikes or anything, at least on the New York Consolidated tape. Anyway, Best Buy out here. Let's take a closer look at this. Come on, Mr. Best Buy. Now, we've had 7.1 million shares on November 28th, 6.2 million shares on December 23rd, and now we're back up at these highs in the last 4 days. 5.3 million shares, 4.9 million shares, 4.1 million shares. Today, 2.2 million shares, and maybe a little bit of reversal. You'd want to really keep an eye on any close below 39.79, which is that November 28th high on a decent volume of 7.1 million shares. I think that says it all. This thing's probably in a larger trading range. It may hang out here for the launch of the iWatch, though, and we'll continue taking a look. To see, we got time for one more. Let's take a look at RIG. Again, a lot of these energy stocks are breaking lows or coming close to the lows, but not a lot of volume in the last few days as they've broken them. RIG, you would have looked for a lot of acceleration in volume. You kind of got it the day that it went into this low of January 14th. And that day, 1450 was the low, 22 million shares. We got into it with basically 16.7 million shares. So it basically went up against that low candle on the 9th. But then it stayed 3 days underneath there with 7.3 and 7.8 million shares. So volume never picked up. Down today, though, on just 8. So we are starting to see, I think, kind of a fairly decent washout. And I'm thinking we could get kind of a quick reaction. And again, what I'm looking for next week is for some of these things just to pop back in, and maybe we can be buying some cheap options on these for a little bit of action next week. And I think that action is going to take us back up a little bit higher. And I'm going to get an opportunity to set the hook on some shorts. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com or post a message in the den.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we're coming back here, we're going to look at a few more stocks. Anyway, rig, we were talking about that when we broke out. It's kind of interesting few stocks out here that seem to be kind of these ones busting at highs and at lows. I had this one in my newsletter this week. I didn't play it, but it was very interesting. You know, you're getting a lot of these stocks that are either hitting the lows and breaking through or going through highs, even with more volume, and then kind of popping back the other way. But this Pernix Therapeutics, PTX, had been coming up to these highs on light volume, the November 12th high, 1.1 million shares. This thing was kind of just messing around in what I think we could see in the broader market, and that is kind of a false breakout to the top. And then basically the things have a massive reversal signal. We still haven't gotten that, and that's what I think there's at least a decent chance we could do again in the market, which is get back up to these highs. We played around for a while. We pulled back. I think we're going to go back up and try to at least get into those. If the volume just totally falls out, then the wheels will probably fall off the market. But I'm just not seeing a great deal of energy, at least here late in the day. Of course, the last 30 minutes of the day going to be a lot more important. I would have liked to seen the VIX really skyrocket today. And, we're up $1.20 on the VIX at 1662. But volatility index at 16 is telling me that there's still not a lot of worry going on. As long as this thing's below $18, kind of tells me that people are not looking for a lot of downside protection in SPYs. And maybe that's because we go sideways out here for a while. But trading out at 2043 on the S&P cash, 2.4 billion shares. So that's basically telling us we're looking at 3.2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated for the end of the day. So it's going to be a light volume. And our second test down here on the lows, and this is probably going to be on lighter volume unless something dramatically happens before the end of the day. What else did we have out here? I got a couple other stocks that are holding in fairly well. I want to buy maybe on Monday and Tuesday for some options expiration action. We'll have to keep an eye on those. See if there's anything else I wanted to get back out here. We were talking about the IWM, so let's take a quick look at that before the end of the day. Could you call this a reversal signal on IWM? Somebody's emailed me and asked, and I said, well, kind of hard to say. What I dislike is that you had the December 31st high out here with basically 35 million shares at 121.41. We kind of went above it to 123.78 on March 2nd with 29 million shares. We kind of came back, but we're right back above that December 31st high out here. And again, we kind of tried to get back into it today. And the question is whether or not you can actually close below that 121.41. That would get me a lot more bearish out here. But, I just don't see us dropping down 60, 70 cents before the end of the day on the IWM. So maybe we get that signal. Maybe it's next week. But it's hard for me to see with light volume, without the IWM, without the biotechs really rolling over and blowing up into the closeout here, that we've seen a high, and we're not going to at least have a counter move to a bear market move. Anyway, we'll see you in about an hour and 20 minutes on the Tom O'Brien Show. We've got lots of stuff to talk about, so catch us then and hang on for Tom O'Brien in the next hour on most of TFNN. So when you can, not when you have to.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.